Bueno. Maybe I should listen to a mukbang. I've been really trying. Hi. Hello. It's me. Funny enough, because, it's my channel. Oh, there's a hair in my drink. How delightful. I thought something that I could do that's a bit new. Because obviously, coronavirus is happening. So we're going to be cooped up indoors a lot, which means, I guess, making videos will be a lot easier for the next couple of months. But I was, just sitting and pondering, going, what can I have to fill the days? And I thought, just like a movie roundup, I was just making a list, and I was like, all these films that I've seen over the last, 2 weeks, that I have no intention of reviewing, pardon me, I have no intention of reviewing on their own, and for the most part are films I've never seen before. So I was like, maybe I should just review these. No spoilers, it's just a quick roundup, the video won't be very long, and it's just going over my brief thoughts whether I think you should watch it. Yeah, so let's start off with, I think the one I watched first of all of them, Hackers. So this is a film that my boyfriend put on when I last went around his, which I think is nearing a month as of recording. So that one's a while ago, but I watched the whole thing. It wasn't too long. I'm pretty sure it was made in the early, was it 90s or 2000s? Well, maybe it was 90s, because it was Angelina Jolie. I don't know. It was either the 90s or the 2000s. Watched it. It's like good bad. It's bad good. I'm so clear in what I'm trying to say here. I kind of enjoyed it, but also it was kind of boring at the same time. It was a weird paradox there. It was quite cheesy. It wasn't a serious film whatsoever. The plot was kind of nonsensical, mainly because the whole point of the film is these hacker characters, and you learn absolutely nothing about what hackers are, what hackers do, because in this film, hacking is portrayed like some weird thing. It's just not very clear what's actually happening, because I got to the end and I was like, there are moments of comedy. If you watch the trailer for it, they put all the comedic moments in the trailer, because the actual film, it has got these comedic moments, but they're so sparse throughout, and they kind of don't fit with most of the film. But then the film isn't serious either. It's just like a schlocky cheese fest, and then every now and then there's moments of more traditional comedy. I liked the officer that was investigating them. He was funny. And the villain is so cartoonish. I kind of hated it and loved him at the same time. I don't know. I feel like I'd watch this especially if, in the next couple months, you're probably going to have a lot of days you're like, there's literally nothing to put on. If you're on a really long plane ride and you see it on their list of things to watch, maybe try it out. But yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to describe that film. I'd watch it if you have the time, but I wouldn't go out of my way to go, you must watch Hackers. Why is my hair sticking up so ridiculously much? I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Now this was a DVD my friend Alex gave me, and it took me about a month, if not more, to actually finally watch it. And I don't know what I was expecting, because I think on the cover I was like, I knew it was about, and this isn't a spoiler, it's the base premise of the film. There's a couple, they get together, and then the girl decides to have her memories wiped, and the man is like, I would like to know how this happened, I want to know why she wanted to forget me, and basically goes for like a journey of self-discovery. But looking at the cover, I was like, this looks like a somewhat traditional romance. And when you first start it, you're like, what's going to happen? And there's like a time jump, basically. We get to see like the end of the relationship. And then obviously the rest of the film is like going through the middle point of it, and like, where do you get from point A to point B? And there's not only there's a couple twists, but also the film is really creative in how it tells its story, how it presents the story. And I was surprised by how many plot threads they end up linking together, because there's quite a few characters in it. There's a lot of side characters who aren't part of the main romance, but they have storylines. And I think for the most part, bar maybe Mark Ruffalo's character, who I feel like, not a lot happens with him. He seems to be a linking thread between a lot of characters, but him as a person, he doesn't really go on any kind of journey. Nothing, like, apart from Mark Ruffalo, even though he does a good job with the role, I think everyone else does a good job. Kirsten Dunst is really good. Obviously the main Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet are really good. They really sell the film as Joel and Clementine. I really liked it. It's 100 minutes, and for me, it was a really good film in that I watched it, and it felt both short and long. It felt long. I was just like, oh, we've got so much. I want, it felt long, and it felt like I've been watching it for a while, but I didn't want it to stop. But it also felt short in that I finished it, and I was like, oh, I think I started it. I think it was in the afternoon. I don't know, when I say 1 o'clock, and then, like, I finished it, and I was like, oh, it's not even 4. I felt like I'd been sitting there for the whole afternoon just going, oh my god, I need to know more about this relationship. It's quite, a lot of funny moments, but it's also quite serious, and I like it. I'd recommend Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Of all the films on my list today, I'd recommend Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Then I watched 2 in a row with my brother, because we were a bit bored. He put on Netflix, and he put 2 films on. First one he put on was Dunkirk, which I have seen before, but I have no intention of reviewing. So I thought I'd throw it in here. It's going to be a real short one here. I don't have strong feelings about the film Dunkirk. I honestly found it a bit boring. I don't know if that's blasphemous to say. I think it's definitely not one of my favourite war films, one of my least favourite war films. It's just, I feel like the film that got promised in the trailers and the posters, which I remember quite well, is not the film we got. I think that the final film's a lot quieter, which isn't a bad thing, because I like the film adaptation of Journey's End, and that's quite a quiet film for the most part. It's just, I wouldn't recommend watching it. I don't think it's particularly worth your time. But if you do watch it, I think you might understand what I mean. Like, it's just not, it's not much. I feel like, considering it's Christopher Nolan doing a war film, there's just not much. Then next, the second one we watched in our little Netflix night, because we had nothing else to do, was Quarantine, which is the English remake of Rec, which I think is Spanish. I have seen Rec. I've seen that before. I like Rec. Quarantine, I honestly think is like a decent remake. I think there are, so if you like, there are like videos you can watch online where they like go into the details of what changes between the 2 films, and when you boil it down, you really inspect it, Rec is better. There's like, there's a bit where in the original a tape plays, and it has some interesting information on it. It gives you a bit more backstory about what's going on. In the English remake, or the American remake, it just plays a spooky, like, staticky, weird noise. Like, and it's so similar to Rec. There is an air of pointlessness to it. And I like, if I was saying which one would you watch, I'd recommend watching Rec, unless you don't like watching subtitled films. Which, like, I do get. Some people don't like watching subtitled films. But I just also think if in your head it's a principle thing, like, I don't want to watch subtitled films, then, like, you're going to miss out on a lot of good cinema. Especially as I think remaking foreign films in an English language with little changes, it's basically just the same film in English. I think those aren't as prevalent, because there isn't as much of a need of it, because I think a lot more people are like, I'm just going to watch the subtitled original version. And that happens a lot in the horror genre, like The Ring, The Grudge. Yeah, it's fine. I think it was on Netflix, so if in the UK, I don't know about other countries if it's on Netflix. If in the UK, I'd give Quarantine a watch if you like horror films. It's found footage, because I know not everyone is a fan of found footage. I personally like found footage films. And I think it's fine. I like it. It's decent. I think most horror films are decent. Even the bad ones I enjoy, and I still probably recommend and go, yeah, check that one out. Yeah, that was good. And then the 5th one, now this one, I missed the first hour of this, because this happened to be on telly, but it is on Now TV, I'm pretty sure, because it was on one of the channels on Now TV. and it was an officer and a gentleman. So I missed the first hour. I started watching it just when... I don't remember the characters' names. Just an hour in, basically. And I liked the rest of what I saw, and even though I missed the first hour, I still understood everything. So that's quite good, the fact that I didn't need to see the first hour to understand what was going on. And my stepmum, because she was watching it with me, and that's the reason she put it on, she says, like, you don't need to watch the first hour. That's just her opinion. She was like, I was like, oh, I've never seen this, so I missed much, and she was like, nah, not really. I think a lot of what happens in the first hour, they end up referencing or repeating in the rest of the film anyway, so... But yeah, I really liked it. I think it was just enjoyable. Just an enjoyable film. There's very serious moments. There's some, more light-hearted moments. Particularly with the main character and his relationship with his superior officer, whatever his name was. Was he a colonel or captain? Lieutenant? I don't know. But the guy with the funny hat who was like training them, the training man. I'll put a picture of him up because I've forgotten what his name was. Yeah, I don't know. I just enjoyed it. Officer and Gentleman. If you have an Now TV in the UK, if you have an Now TV in the UK, I'd recommend watching it. I guess I'd probably say what it's about. If you've never heard of an Officer and Gentleman, it's basically about a guy training to be in the RAF. Was it the RAF? Oh, for fuck's sake. He was trained to be a pilot. That's all I don't know for sure. He was trained to be a pilot. Like a military pilot. I'm hopeless. And he has a love interest, and he has some conflict. He has friends. He has his superior officer man, pointy hat man, picture guy. And things happen. Hijinks ensue. A lot of emotional baggage that plays into the current events. There's a blonde character who I think is absolutely despicable. That's all I got, really. Over and done with. I mean, what else is there to talk about? I guess I hope everyone stays safe. I hope that people are being sensible and putting their health and others' health before partying and going to the beach and doing this and doing that. And I also hope that people just try to enjoy themselves, try and find a positive side. Like today I had a bit of an off day. I was kind of like, I'm bored, I'm not doing things. But tomorrow I've kind of gone, you have to nail down, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to enjoy this. If I nail down tomorrow and get all the work done, I'm going to pop down the road for essential food shopping. Don't worry, it's essential. I'm not just popping down to get a Primark bag. If I get my homework done, if I get preparation for my film studies coursework, like the last little bits of preparation I want to get done before I start writing my screenplay, and I want to film a couple more things. I think 2 more videos. That really, when I boil it down, that's not going to take me the whole day. If I nail down and do that, I can maybe edit an extra video before I go to bed. Maybe even then I can watch another film and add it to my list of movie roundups. I'm trying to find a positive, because I've realised if I keep going, I'm bored, it's making me demotivated. So I'm now no longer even doing the stuff that could be filling my day, like filming my videos, like editing my videos, like doing all the things I'm doing for college. We all struggle. I can't see my boyfriend, he's self-isolating. I can't see my best friend, because I don't want to endanger my nan's health because she's at risk. But I'm not going to bog myself down with the negatives and the pessimism and what could happen and what might happen and what is happening. I'm just going to focus on anything positive I can. Like, for example, I'm going to drink some of this fizzy orange juice because it makes me happy. Makes me very happy. So, a little motivational speech there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, hit that bell. Why are my eyes watering? I'm inept. I'm so